Remember when these reportedly huge social media platforms popped up and began to entice us with messages of how great their services would be for us? They needed us to buy into their scheme, so the power of the word free was unleashed. Counting on our addiction, heightened by repetition, then installed in our brain as habit. Now for many of us, the belief is you just can't do without them. We begin this SOUKRAS with recent events. Recently realized that our chicken has come home to roost. As you may be aware, our building is to provide voices that produce greater thought and therefore greater solutions. Not just for us as individuals, but to everyone, all life on this planet. By their teachings, we have been indoctrinated to think of the I, the me, mine. Possessing thought in this manner can be looked at as an obstacle as opposed to an enhancement. The collective is always greater than any single standing ball of energy. However, we confuse borders with countries and subsequently the physical form of a person with character or behavior. We recently logged on to one of the freely offered social media accounts, you know the one that has their book in your face. We noticed the notification bell lit up, so we began sorting its content. Second on the list was a notification from the Face T ones. We click on it and bam. Face T is a British West Indian coined adjective meaning rude, arrogant, or excessively bold. We follow the notification to the next link, so see for yourself. What is amazing is that they knowledgeably used the word your account, fully aware of themselves. Then insinuated their fact check knows what's good for everyone on the planet. Their diabolical impertinence speaks inadequacy and insignificance, so attempts to intoxicate our mental levels of programming with grandiloquence is oppressively constant. We always go back to credible source, Dr. Judy A. Mikovits, who have been speaking on the inconsistencies of these agenda-driven fact-checkers all over the world for years. Maybe it's the fact that we included her name and opinions in our post that did it. Everyone wants to be your overlord and really, their bowels are just full of it. Their heads are so far up themselves, they are eternally constipated. Outside of their debauchery presented, spoon-fed to us, hoping we remain asleep. Really, their lives are meaningless, so they need to find someone to do. And the only blood they can suck comes from you. Moving on to our second and more serious topic of the SOUKRAS, but staying on course with one of the recent employment positions that has been popping up on the internet lately, the fact check or the fact checker. Recently there was a fact check on a story that resurfaced from a 2019 post that has been causing some controversy for Joe Biden, especially since he is running for president against Donald Trump. This triggered the disaster creators into gear, so they sent an intern fact check called LLE to the front line of the USA Today newspaper to confuse us. She did just that. However, the confusion was not whether or not Joe Biden is a racist. The confusion was in their heads when they chose Ella. The article reads, fact check. Photo shows Biden with Byrd, who once had ties to KKK but wasn't a grand wizard, by LLE. LLE is a fact check intern for USA Today. The article continues. The claim. Joe Biden and a grand wizard of the KKK were photographed together. A photo circulating on Facebook and Instagram claims to depict former Vice President Joe Biden with a grand wizard of the KKK. Biden with grand wizard of KKK. So who again is playing you, lying to you, using you for the votes, creators of the KKK, opposed civil right of blacks? Yup, that's the Democratic Party. The text above the image reads. The image, posted to Facebook on June 27, 2019, but garnering attention anew online, shows Biden, the presumptive Democratic nominee for president, holding hands with then Senator Robert Byrd, D. West Virginia, who is circled in red as the alleged KKK Grand Wizard. The user who shared the post did not respond to a USA Today request for comment. The article went on to inform of an attempts to discredit the user that shared this viral post by trying to blame the Republican Party, i.e., President Donald Trump. Fact check from the SOUKRAS. Fact check this, Ella, here is some wiki for you, though we know this will be digitally scrubbed at the first chance your handlers get. There's a wise old saying. Who gives a toss if this racist, enemy of the people, was a chicken in the KKK? How many of the mutilated did he kill, rape, hang, burn their property, stole from, treated less than humane, or had a hand in, directly or indirectly? I'm sure the ancestors are not trying to hear he turned his life around. Contrary to their attempts, the information is all over the internet, at least for now. Let's just use Wikipedia. Reading from paragraphs 8 and 9 of the article. In the early 1940s, Byrd recruited 150 of his friends and associates to create a new chapter of the Ku Klux Klan in Sophia, West Virginia. As a young boy, Byrd had witnessed his adoptive father walk in a Klan parade in Matoka, West Virginia. While growing up, Byrd had heard that the Klan defended the American way of life against race mixers and communists. He then wrote to Joel L. Baskin, Grand Dragon of the Realm of Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland and Delaware, who responded that he would come and organize a chapter when Byrd had recruited 150 people. Byrd's house couldn't fit 150 people, so he arranged to hold the ceremony at the home of C.M. Clyde Goodwin, a former law enforcement officer who lived in Crab Orchard, West Virginia. When Baskin called for nominations for Exalted Cyclops, the highest-ranking official in the Clavern, Byrd was nominated and quickly elected by unanimous vote. It was Baskin who told Byrd, "You have a talent for leadership." Robert C. Byrd, in a letter to Senator Theodore Bilbo, in 1944. "I shall never fight in the armed forces with a Negro by my side, rather I should die 1,000 times, and see Old Glory trampled in the dirt never to rise again, than to see this beloved land of ours become degraded by race mongrels, a throwback to the blackest specimen from the wilds." In 1946, Byrd wrote a letter to a Grand Wizard stating, "The Klan is needed today as never before, and I am anxious to see its rebirth here in West Virginia and in every state in the nation." However, when running for the United States House of Representatives in 1952, he announced, after about a year, "I became disinterested, quit paying my dues, and dropped my membership in the organization. During the 9 years that have followed, I have never been interested in the Klan." He said he had joined the Klan because he felt it offered excitement and was anti-communist. Byrd later called joining the KKK, "the greatest mistake I ever made." 1993. It is said, if you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough it will be believed. Or you can say it like this. Repeat a lie often enough, along with images, signs, symbols, numbers, the believer will be locked in your dream state illusion. Is it that they don't believe we would see through their garbage, or they just don't care? The Supreme Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey's leadership built in strength for the melanated, a path to rise up and do for ourselves. Nowhere in his legacy did he attempt to even hurt another ethnicity. However, people like Robert Byrd and the KKK were following in the legacy of Albert Pike, elected Sovereign Grand Commander Mason of the Scottish Rite Southern jurisdiction. Albert Pike remained deeply opposed to black suffrage, referring to melanated Americans' right to vote. Maybe today that would be a good thing. He, Albert Pike, insisting that the white race, and that race alone, shall govern this country, meaning the United States of America. He solidified his declaration by further saying, "It is the only one that is fit to govern, and it is the only one that shall." So listen to this Ella. Ask yourself how is it Byrd became a senator? Well, Marcus Garvey was dismissed, discredited, demoralized and destroyed, bringing down the UNIA and ACL, hampering our progress. Fact check that. To the ELTV SOU followers, let us hear your voice on this. Please note this is not about race or any of the BLM debauchery, this is calling out these so-called fact checks while we are on the subject of this video. Please share with us any information you discover on this and any of the topics covered in the SOU, or any of the ELTV Real or ELTV Grid videos for that matter. We would love to hear from you. You can find links to the media used in this video in the description below. Don't forget to support us with the ELTV building program. And please, find the links in the description and share it with your network contacts, family and friends. Thanks once again.